Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Speak That Talks. My name is Tiara M. Tucker, and once again, I am excited to sit here on a Thursday evening to go live with all of you as we have another unfiltered, unscripted, and uncensored live conversation. As always, we're going to talk about some hot topics, and we're going to talk about some topics to help empower, inspire, and uplift all of us. So we will be going live in 30 seconds. So feel free to tag some friends, invite some others, and host a watch party because you will be empowered today. See you in 30 seconds. All right. Well, welcome to the November kickoff of Speak That Talks. As always, I absolutely love sitting in this seat to go live with everybody on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in today. So my name is Tiara M. Tucker, and I am the founder and CEO, the creator of Tiara PR Network, LLC, as well as Speak That Movement. And I am also the host and producer of Speak That Talks, which is what you're watching right now. So Speak That Talks was actually created randomly 27 weeks ago. 27 weeks ago, when I just wanted to go live, I just wanted to pause, considering everything that was going on in the world at that time. We were dealing with COVID-19. We were dealing with police brutality and social injustices, and you name it. I wanted to go live and bring some people together to interact. And now 27 weeks later, every Thursday since May 7th, we're still going live. And that's because of people like you that are tuning in and watching. So I'm really, I'll be honest, I'm feeling some type of way this week, and I'm sure a lot of us are, which is even more reason why it was so important to just make sure we went live with an intentional focus on empowering, uplifting, and inspiring people, and with the focus on mental health and mindfulness today. So I want everybody listening in to virtually talk and interact. So go to Speak That Movement on the Facebook or YouTube page if you're not there already. If you're on a personal page, that's great, but please go to the Speak That Movement page so that we can pull you into the conversation. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling about the presidential election that we're all just waiting to find the final answer, the final results? Let us know your thoughts on that, and let us know your thoughts on anything else right now. So again, just go to the Speak That Movement page, Facebook or YouTube, and let's virtually connect and socialize. Go to that page, share your name, share your city, and any questions or thoughts you may have in the comments. So I see we have someone right now. We have some people on. Shout out Miss Sheena. Good evening. Thank you. Just got the hair done today. And Sheena said 27 weeks. Yes, my sister. So shout out to Sheena, because Sheena was actually a guest on a Speak That Talks back in September. Sheena was a guest when we were talking about say their names and social justice. So shout out to you, and shout out to you as well. Good evening to you, Miss Safe Encouragement. So love your name. And hello to you, Andre. How long does it take to count? I don't know what you mean by that. So why don't you tell us, how long does it take to count? Oh, I think you mean the votes, right? That's what you mean. If that's what you mean, then you know what? That's what everybody in America wants to know. But I would be okay with it taking as long as it takes to get it accurate and to get it right. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I want to hear from you throughout the show. So Sheena said they're doing one-to-one counting correspondence skills. All right, so I can already tell we're going to have some interaction today. So again, if you're watching, we are already starting off with some interaction, and that's exactly what we want. So again, if you're tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. I'm Tiara M. Tucker. Let's virtually connect and socialize. If you want to learn more about Tiara PR Network or Speak That Movement or Speak That Talks, make sure you check out the website, which is tiaraprnetwork.com. So without further ado, we're going to get right into today's conversation. I'm so excited to bring back one of my special guest speakers from the past. We actually talked recently on Speak That Talks about the presidential debate. So during that conversation, we said then that she was going to come back and we were going to talk about the presidential election. So help me welcome today's returning guest, Miss Karen J. Wilson.
Hey, what's good? What's good? How you doing?
How are you? How are you? So I can tell that you are ready to get into some trouble, some good trouble, some
Good
necessary
trouble.
trouble,
Good trouble.
like John
Yes,
Lewis trouble, right?
that's right. That's right.
Okay. So tell everybody, you were on before, a community activist, community organizer. You're doing your thing in Illinois, my home state. So shout out
Amen.
to you for all that you're doing. Anything else that you want people to know about you if they didn't catch you last time?
Oh, okay. Well, I have a weekly radio show on WVEL 1140. You can find it on iHeartRadio or Tune In, and I do hot topics every week with my co-host Don Jackson, and we just chop it up every week. So you can catch me there, and then of course I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My Twitter handle is Blueprint71. And then my name is Instagram and Facebook because I only came on Instagram because it's part of Facebook. So I'm not like that.
You got the combo deal. You're like, I really
Yeah,
don't want the drink, but since it comes with the burger, just give it
there
to
you
me.
go.
All right. Well, thanks for having it because it allows me to tag you from time to time.
Amen.
All right. So listen, we're just gonna get right down to it. We're gonna talk about the presidential election. So
Okay,
we already have some people that are chiming in. So we want to hear from all of you out there.
absolutely.
First question, how are you feeling right now at 8:13 p.m. Central Time, 2 days after Election Day? How are you
Mhm.
feeling?
Well, I am a avid listener to the Ricky Smiley morning show, and every morning he does plays a gospel song, and then Pastor Haynes, who you've interviewed, comes on and gives a word, and that just kind of sets my tone for the day, and I really like that. So the day after the election, they went back old school and said God will make a way, and he will. We just have to be. And also last night in Bible study it was stay steadfast and be still. So
Mm,
I went ahead. I said we're going old school. I'm a Donald Lawrence Tri-City, so I said I'm going to go back with I've never seen the righteous forsaken and giants. So
mm.
that's where I'm at. So I'm just chill right now. God, when he gets ready, he will let us know. And whatever I mean, either way, I'm going to be okay. So that's where I am. I'm just being peace in the midst and steadfast. That's all I've got.
I love it. That's very powerful, and then it's a good attitude to have.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
sometimes, we got to take it back to the old school
Old school.
and know that God is faithful, right?
Hmm.
Got some
Hmm.
shout outs out there. Um, so my brothers, Black in Business podcast, representing the East Coast, are with us again this week.
Good.
And
I contacted them on Instagram, so that's awesome.
awesome. So the bearded wonder, he's still concerned, but he's hopeful. Good
Mhm.
attitude. I'm totally with you. So, what about you? Are you shocked by anything? Are you anything? Have you?
Yes, I am. I guess it shouldn't be this close. And I'm very perplexed on that because we've all been, we've all been here the last 4 years, and it hasn't been a rosy picture. So why
Mhm.
would you want to condemn us to 4 more years of this?
Mhm.
And so I think they called it shy voters, where because the polls totally had it wrong, and we should have known from the last time that you can't believe that you have to actually have boots on the ground and actually take people to and from the polls, which we did here in Peoria. We had people ride to the polls, and we had our first time voters, and this, that, and the other. But I'm very disturbed that I met a guy today. I asked him, I said, well, I'm going to jump you right now. Did you vote? And he said, no, I had to work. And I was like, we had 40 days of early voting. You didn't think to take care of that? I said, that's an obvious. I mean, we really need to educate that sitting on the sidelines is an automatic vote for the opponent. And we
Mhm.
also need to educate up and down the ballot because we lost some key races in the South. Jamie Harrison, for one, in South Carolina. Susan Collins in Maine. So we didn't make any gains in the House or Senate. We're in the same boat. So
Yeah.
you have to go up and down the ballot. And here in Illinois, we lost a key judge. So every vote counts. If somebody was asking, oh, do you fill out the whole ballot? Yes, you must fill out up and down the whole ballot. Never leave anything blank. Even if you don't, I mean, that's where it comes into doing your research and
That's
knowing who the people are and what their stances are and who your interests. Because I feel like they voted against our interest. And the fact that my sister and I were saying, if this was your first time voting, if you weren't 18, I wouldn't be telling people that.
yeah.
You
And
know,
I
I
get
mean,
that. Yeah. And you know what? I do agree with you. Voter education is so important, and at this point, right, we've already voted.
mhm.
We're now waiting. But I totally agree with you that education is important. Understanding who's on the ballot, things like that. But also, I really want to keep this show positive this week, right?
Sure.
Because
Okay.
no, you're fine. I want reaction. I want it because that's the point of Speak That Talks, right? We can share what we feel, whether it's uncomfortable. I want honest truth. So everything you said is dead on. So I'm
Okay.
not disagreeing in any way whatsoever. Um, I also know that I can get worked up about this election because I still think about some of the things that are still taking place right now with lawsuits and all that stuff, right? And I
Mhm.
don't know on about it, but I want to I want to ask, how can we encourage people right now, right? Those of you who did vote, you did go down the ballot, you did vote, and maybe you don't know what to feel right now, right? You're hopeful, you're discouraged, or maybe you're encouraged. So I know you play in this space. Karen, I know that you're extremely active with the NAACP. You're
And
extremely active
Silver
in
Life member, let me
community.
get that out there.
That's
Silver
right. That's
Life.
right.
That's right.
So how can you encourage people right now as they're waiting?
Well, absolutely mobilize. And you went to the polls, so next time you need to take 5 friends and have them take 5 friends. I'm very impressed with Detroit, Michigan, they had Reverend Steve Bland, who was one of my brother's closest friends. He's got some title over there over the Baptist ministers, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but anyway, they were in charge with getting people to the polls. They had the day of the election, he gathered a whole bunch of clergy, and then they prayed while people were standing in line at the polls and different things like that. And so you just have to become aware. And as Fannie Lou Hamer says, you can pray and pray and pray, but faith without work is dead. So at some point you have to, and you can, and the only the other thing is you can complain, but at the end of the day, what are you doing to make that change? So oops, I'm having issues with my phone here. There we go.
You're fine.
Um, did I freeze up?
No, you're good. Keep going. Keep
Okay.
going. Keep going. So the people
So
right now oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say the people right now that are waiting, you know, let's encourage them.
Trust the process. Trust that every vote counts. Every vote counts. Mail in, provisional. People from overseas, all those have to be counted. And because of the pandemic, there's an increased number. So, so we just have to trust the process and go from there. And just like we were saying off air, it's not the speed in which they do it, it's the accuracy. And I always say quality versus quantity. So I may take a little longer, but it's going to be accurate and right to the penny. So you just patience. Patience is a virtue, and I know I have issues with it.
Yeah. No,
So
I agree. And I think that's dead on. I appreciate all of your commentary. I definitely want to bring you in and hear your thoughts and your perspective. And I want to take this time to shout out, all of the folks that volunteered to work the polls, the people right now that are still in there
yes,
counting.
the
Some of
counters.
these folks are volunteers. Some of these folks are hired, but they're making minimum wage doing what they're doing. Some of these folks have just been there countless hours because they are confirming what true democracy really means, and that's
Absolutely.
counting. So I have to shout out folks. I have to shout out folks within your own communities who volunteered. And maybe you didn't volunteer at the poll, but maybe you just volunteered and you said, you know what, I'm going to check on my family or my friends. I'm going to make sure somebody voted. I'm going to post something to make sure people are voting. Whatever you did, again, it's not a competition. It's collaboration to get to the
Right.
greater number. So I just got to make sure I shout out all those folks, all of the Greeks that strove to the poll, marched to the poll, all of the people and the families and the first time voters. Your vote counts, and we thank you. Yes.
Yeah. We're a
So
collective.
yes. And you're right. Thank God for them. And we have to, no matter what people say, no matter how many people are out there protesting and complaining, guess what? They're doing a job right now. And I thank God that they're doing it because somebody needs to do it. Well, Miss Karen, any final words? Anything? How can people find you on social media?
Oh, on social media, I'm on Twitter. I'm Blueprint71. Facebook is just Karen J. Wilson. My picture is up there. And then Instagram is Karen J. Wilson 1126. And that's my birthday. It's coming up. My birthday is Thanksgiving Day. So give thanks for me.
Well,
and I'll just shameless plug if you're. I said my Cash App is Blueprint71 too.
okay, look at Karen make some money on the Speak That Talk show.
Okay.
Well, listen, sister, I will Cash App you for your birthday for my appreciation for you joining Speak That Talks and for all that you're doing in the Illinois community with the NAACP and all that you're doing to help encourage and mobilize and organize people. So thank you, my sister, as always. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And I'll go take my spot now so I can enjoy the show.
Goodbye. Wow. Thank you all so much. I love bringing Karen on. Karen, you got some happy birthdays. You might even get some Cash App today, sister. I love that shameless plug and happy early birthday and happy birthday. So look at that. Look at God. You already got some early birthdays. All right. So thank you all again for tuning in. If you just tuned in right now, we're only a few minutes in. I just brought in Karen Wilson out of Illinois, community activist and organizer. I wanted to hear her thoughts about the presidential election because she was a guest speaker when we talked about the presidential debate. So only was right to have her back in. And you know what? Next Thursday, I might need somebody else to come in when we talk about the presidential election as well, because I'm not convinced we're going to know who our president is by the time Speak That Talks ends tonight. So I am now excited to bring to the stage, the Speak That stage, the next special guest that I have for today. I'm so happy to have her on because she is the first guest of a series in November that's called Women in Business. So it's awesome. I hope you all tune in every Thursday this month because we are going to have a jammed out, packed out, empowering, inspiring platform every week in November. And the first guest that I have with me is Miss Alycia Huston. So I'm going to bring to this platform, and I hope that you all show her some love, some thumbs, and everything else. So, Miss
Hey,
Alycia, all right, there we go. I need some music.
that's what I was thinking. We need some
Oh, you know what? Every time I have music on Speak That Talks, Facebook wants to send me to a dungeon. And
Yes,
I have to say, no, it's okay.
yes,
And
yes,
then they'll say, all right. So
yes, yes. I get
listen to
it.
the problem.
I get it.
Yes. Well, I thank you for bringing that energy. And I'm going to give some shout outs out there. Hello, hello, Miss Janice Farrow, watching, representing Dallas, Texas. That's my mama.
Oh,
Yes, we also have some other people watching out there. Miss Michelle MacArthur representing the Dallas, Texas area. Thank you so much for tuning in. We also have Miss Jackie Robinson out there representing the Dallas, Texas area as well. Yes, Jackie, you gotta be on in 2021, my sister, unless I could squeeze you in 2020. So I'm gonna reach out to you. Just had an amazing conference.
yes, she
Um,
did.
Yes, she did. She had a conference. Her and Zandra Evans had a joint women's empowerment conference. It was amazing. And actually, that's how you and I met.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
So, you and I met during this conference, which was
Yeah.
actually in October. We were both participants and we both, talked and were interactive and chimed in. And so we connected, and that is the power of true connections.
Yes.
So tell everybody, who is Alycia Huston?
You got it. So Alycia Huston is a mom, a sister, a wife, just all of these adjectives that represent me. But who I really am is a woman who believes in walking in my God-given purpose. And it was not always like that. A lot of us sometimes are. I know for myself, walking in the purpose that I knew God really had for me was scary because it was big. And so, we have to take baby steps to get to where God is really elevating us to, and then He can continue to bring us higher. So, Alycia is a businesswoman. She is a woman of STEM. So, I have a background in neuroscience and biology. And I am just someone who loves to connect, collaborate, have fun, and just, I can't wait till we get out of quarantine so I can hug people again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, wow. Out of all of those words and attributes, which one are you the most proud of?
You know what? I am extremely proud to be a woman in business because I was, I love my kids, don't get me wrong, all of that. But that was something that I started in 2004. And my first business was a biotechnology company. And there weren't these pitch competitions like we have now. And so it was really a collaboration with amazing women to bring a vision to life and to really grow that vision. So that was I'll say my wake up moment, that really anything is possible, even through adversity, even through adversity.
I love that. I love that. Beauty and brains, Miss Alycia.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. How about if we make that a hot topic?
Okay, you got it.
Women in business.
You got it. Yes.
When you see that hot topic, that
Mm,
hashtag, which is the title of this series, what
yes.
do you think about?
You know what? I think about power because I think about how women, I am very clear on the power of women and the creation abilities that are within us, and how our voice really creates, and how our posture creates, and how sometimes we do not honor that creation and that light within us, and so we cower back. And so that when I think of women in business, I think about creation, collaboration, community, and also bringing others with us. We must lift as we lead. And so that's what I think about with women in business. You know, women have been pitted against one another, that we cannot get along, that we're catty. Now, of course, in anywhere there are those different things happening, those different underlying threads. But in general, I have seen and have experienced and have been a part of some dynamic collaborations with amazing women.
Yes. And we have some comments. Karen,
Yes.
uplift and empower women.
Yes.
That's loud.
Yes.
My brother's Black in Business podcast. Love to see women making major business.
Yes.
It's refreshing and much needed.
Yes, yes. And there are and I'm just going to really speak here momentarily too about just Black women. There are so many biases that we have been labeled with, right? We can't get along, we're angry, things of that nature. And so when we operate in the truth of who we are divinely, and we walk that out and we demonstrate it, because the demonstration is the action. The demonstration is the truth. And people, they listen to what you do and they watch what you say. Hear me.
Repeat that.
People listen to what you do, the demonstration, they're listening, and they watch what you say. So you want to make sure those two movie reels align. And so we as women really we are truly breaking barriers. We actually are able to take things to a different level, because women have more emotional centers in their brain than men. So we think differently. We have a different intuition. So where we can read what you're not saying at a deeper level. And it's very powerful when women are very clear on who they are, and they come into a space and a room to have these high level conversations, because there is no competition. It's like, sis, who do you need to know? Who do I need to connect you with? How can I move you forward? And that's the power of women. That's more of the dialogues that we want to make sure we are a part of. Those are the rooms you want to be in, where people are already clear on their identity. They're stable in their identity, so they don't feel any kind of angst to say, you know what, I know who I need to connect you with, because that is the truth of who you are as a woman, but also our men. And when our men see this, they rise up too, because then they operate as our allies and say, how can I support you? What do you need from me, sis? Who do you need to know that I know? Because it's just really a beautiful web of growth for all of us.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I love that. So talk a little bit more about kind of the knowing yourself piece,
Okay.
and almost like the purpose. And I had a series earlier this year about walking in your purpose. It was actually a series as well, I had women lined up the entire month, and they were women in business as well.
Wonderful.
And we talked about walking in your purpose. So I want to hear from you, when you think about women in business.
Yes.
And when we say women in business, let's define this out for people that are like, we're not just talking about a woman who owns her own business.
No.
We're not just talking about an entrepreneur.
No.
So share with us, first of all, how do you define women in business, and that knowing yourself and your purpose part of it?
You got it. So first, yes, let's bring some dialogue so we all are operating on the same definition. So a woman in business is a woman who is either in career, a woman who does own a business as a solopreneur or an organization with employees. Because what you have to understand is that the business does not define you. You are the one that is creating the business, the environment, the atmosphere, the ethos, because that is the experience that people have when they connect with you. So a woman in business is anything, like you said, from an owner to a leader to a manager to an entry-level person. You are a woman in business. So understand who you are. So that's the first part of your identity, knowing who you are, not allowing a particular title to define you, because you're not an SVP or you're not a senior director yet, if that's what you desire. If you're not a business owner, understanding that that is not a definition, and it's really not a destination, because at the end of the day, do you want significance or do you want success? And you have to understand that significance, having an impact, creating something new, is going to bring success to you. So what are you striving for? So first, that's about your identity, knowing who you are and what are you striving for? Because if you're striving for money, you're striving for the wrong thing. We are all here to make an impact. That is the power of our voice. Your voice is connected to your purpose, which was anointed in you before you were incarnated in your mother's womb. God knows the plans for your life. So it's not about what you want. See, a lot of us, myself included, let me be honest. So zero judgment here. Like, this is transparency.
That talks.
There you go. I thought that because I had run my business, my biotech business, right? And I scaled that business and I sold that business to investors, that I need to be a business coach. So I thought that my next adventure, because this is an adventure, your life is an adventure, be clear, it's a fun one and a challenging one.
And I
sometimes.
love to say your life is a journey.
There you go. I love that. And so I thought I was supposed to be a business coach and help people create their businesses. Well, I did that for a while and I was miserable. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I never sought God on what his next steps for me were. And he made it very clear to me that I have a deep-seated need to make sure that there is social justice for people, that there is social awareness, consciousness, equity, inclusion. And it was big. So it scared me, right? It scared me and I kind of ran from it. And then he just kept bringing me back full circle. He just kept bringing me back. So I say this to tell each of you that your purpose is not yours. Your purpose is for me. It's for Tiara. It's for other people in the world. Your gifts are not for you. They're for the kingdom. And so you have to operate in alignment. And you have to listen to the truth, because see, there's the gut feeling, the Holy Spirit is talking to you and telling you, no, you don't need to be doing that. And we try to run sometimes. So your purpose, people say, I'm looking for my purpose. Baby, if you're looking for your purpose, be still and listen. And then don't negate the truth when it comes to you, because you will get confirmation. Yes. Yes.
Really good.
It's real.
And I love to ask that question about purpose, because, I feel like it doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are, right? There's still people wondering and questioning. And I love what you said, right? Just be still.
Yeah.
Right? It's there. It'll find you. Ask for it. Seek
it. Seek it, right? Seek it. Seek it. Seek and ye shall find, and honor it when it is exposed to you. Don't dishonor it because you think that can't be it. it's too difficult. When you embrace it, everything you need will be provided to you. Everything, everything.
Yes. And you know what? The comments are so live. So I'm going to shout this out. All of you right now watching on the Tiara M. Tucker page, thank you.
Yes.
Join us on the Speak That Movement page. Go to Speak That Movement, and I want to pull you into this conversation because I'm ripping over here because I have another screen over here and live over there. So
I love it.
Going over here. But I have to ask, I want to bring this question up.
Okay.
Andre asked a really good question.
Okay.
For those searching, how does one get to know and find their purpose? And I know you just addressed this, but I want to answer it,
Yes, directly for Andre. So, Andre, here is the thing I'm going to tell you. Sometimes we think that we don't know anything. We have no direction and where we're supposed to be going. But we do have inclinations. We have signs. What have people said to you that you do so beautifully and with so much ease? So what I will tell you is, do you have a voice that people say, when I speak to you, I just feel like everything is going to be okay, that I receive direction, I receive wisdom. When I'm in your presence, I feel like this. You make me feel, you show me, you demonstrate. So that is your first breadcrumb, my friend. That is your first breadcrumb. What is it that others are saying about you that you dismiss that comes very naturally to you? Is it art? Because, we can create different things within art. I was just speaking to a youth group on Monday, and one of the young men he found his gift within art, and he does things with other people in the realm of art, helping them, underprivileged youth, things like that. What comes easy to you, Andre? I would ask you to really sit down in a space of quiet. Write down a list of what comes easy to you. That's one list. Another list, what do people commonly say about you? And I want you, and I don't want any filter, just word vomitus. That's what I call it. Word vomitus out. And write it down. It could be 5, 7, 10. And then I want you to begin to see where you have some interactions, some intersections, intersections of those. And then I want you to begin to say, okay, so I'm seeing some intersections. People speak about my voice. They speak about how I make them feel. My presence when I'm around, they feel this kind of way. They like this about me. Ooh, I do this and I dismissed it because it's so easy to me. Those begin to formulate your picture, my friend. They begin to formulate the picture of who you are in your true identity. And then what then you must do is you must begin to seek some guidance, wisdom from God. And then you have to begin to walk things out as you are led. So it is a process. And let me tell you this, we are always growing. We are always cultivating. We never arrive because we start to do things on a larger scale. We start to have more impact. So that is where I would start, because I have an inkling that you have some ideas about your purpose, but you may be just dismissing a few things here and there. So that's my advice to you.
And that was very good. And here's a confirmation, Andre. Andre is an amazing brother, phenomenal podcaster. The bearded wonder can attest to this.
Voice. Your voice is your kingdom work. That is your impact. That is what you're here to do. Those are your seeds that you're here to spread. Your voice. Your voice is for others, not for you.
That's it.
Yeah.
And as a podcaster, you're bringing people together from all over the nation. That takes courage. That takes organization. That takes passion. That takes dedication, and it takes consistency.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. Yes. Thank you. Girl, you better say that. Anything you cannot you're welcome, Andre. Anything you do, don't just think you're going to do it once. Oh, it didn't work. Oh my goodness. It's over. I'm terrible. This is not for me. You've got to be consistent, because here's the thing. a lot of times we stay on the practice squad. We never get into the arena. You cannot learn. You cannot hone your skill. You cannot see what, okay, that didn't work. Let me try something new this time. So you got to get off the practice squad and get into the arena, get into the game, because you can sit there on the sidelines all day on the practice squad, practicing that dribbling or that jump shot. But until you have somebody that is there to experience you in the arena, that's how you learn. That's how you hone your craft. You see where, I'm going to move this here. Oh, this would be better over here. So you want to get into it and then get the feedback and get your rhythm and do it consistently. And you will become masterful. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, global, international. I'm telling you, you will change lives, but you got to be consistent.
Boom.
Yes.
Powerful. All right. So that was good. So we're gonna go on to another hot topic, because I think that folks, if you're listening, you're learning some things today, or if you're not learning, some things are being reiterated to you. So listen.
Yes.
Shout out to Miss Zandra Evans. We have Zandra on.
Hey, Zandra!
Thank you so much for tuning in. Zandra was actually a special guest during the March episode. It wasn't a Speak That Talks, it was a Speak That Movement Empowerment Social, where we celebrated women in business, and that was a phenomenal show. We had a live DJ, and it was a pretty cool event, all virtual.
Music.
Yes. So I'm gonna go on to another hot topic.
Okay.
All right. So
yes, ma'am.
This is a hot topic that I probably would have never had this as a hot topic on a Speak That Talks until I met you. Mm-hmm. But because it's something that I know that you are very well versed and very well educated in, I wanted to bring it to the platform because it is a hot topic.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about it much. And this hot topic is unconscious bias.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tell us more about that.
So unconscious bias, we see the preface word is unconscious. So we'll see unconscious or implicit. Those are synonymous, unconscious or implicit bias. And what that means is those are social constructs that are put upon a certain culture or class of people. So they're stereotypes. And so, but here's the thing. Explicit means people realize they're doing it, that they're being racist, right? So that's a whole different class of people. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who truly do things unconsciously, implicitly. So one thing, someone will come, biggest thing is that someone will think that all Black people can dance. Oh, you can't dance? That is a stereotype. That is an unconscious bias that people will have towards a particular race or culture or gender, right? All Black folks can dance. All Black women could throw down in the kitchen, right? It's things like that. All Asian people eat rice. I mean, it's very, and they can really lead to, they're very much close to microaggressions that we will impose upon people. So microaggressions, receiving them, having them happen to you as a one-off can be not as bad. So a microaggression, let's say, is a Latin woman, and you hear an accent and you say, where are you really from? And then, is English your first language? Things like that. Those are microaggressions. And so those accompany unconscious bias, because as the in-group of people, privileged people will tend to put upon people who, the bearded wonder has no rhythm. I love it. See, there we go, right? But those others will put upon you a particular stereotype that is unwarranted, and they have negative connotations. One big one being that Black men never hang around for their kids. That's a big one, and so you must be, and we have to all do our part. And this is a social responsibility of all of us, not just Black people, but all people, white, brown, Asian, all of us, because what happens is these things follow in the media. So I'll tell you, if you spoke of the presidential debate with Karen, when the 45 said that he's done more for Black people than anyone else. And immediately after that comment, he began, right, sip your water, girl. Immediately after that comment, he started talking about prisons, other types of reforms that lumped Black people. See, I've done everything for Black people. Now I'm going to talk to you about, I've done this for prison reform. So you start creating a dialogue, a rhetoric around Black people that is now mainstream, that people don't even realize is being fed to them subconsciously, where you operate 95% of the time. We operate out of our subconscious mind 95% of the time. So as things are being fed to us, we don't even realize how this dialogue is being formulated on our behalf. So we have to be vigilant that you listen, guard your gates, right? Your parents used to tell you that, guard your gates, turn that music off. It gets into the subconscious mind. And these dialogues have these very low undertones and undercurrents that create a full story that others buy into very easily. And we have to be careful that we don't buy into them as well. Some of us buy into them as those who are underrepresented and marginalized. We sometimes buy into those stereotypes about Black women, Black men, Latins, all of that. So we got to be careful that we are also checking our own biases with others and ourselves. It's a process. So be careful. Be careful if you see yourself judging someone unconsciously. You'll see someone walk down the street and you'll formulate an ideology about them immediately. And so check yourself, say, well, I don't even know them. What? Nope. And let me put some of you at ease. Biases are natural. Everyone has them. It's how our brains are built, because biases allow us to operate quickly, to make decisions quickly. We see a car coming, a child's in the street, boom, we grab the child. We realize that something will happen if that child is still in the street. So our brain formulates neural pathways and networks to operate quickly. But what we have to also understand is those biases that are negative, we want to rewire our brain. And that comes with having an awareness, acknowledging it, and then creating a different thought. And it is very possible. And as you were saying, you want this to be a very uplifting and positive conversation. Listen, it should not be our responsibility to help others understand the Black plight, right? It should not be. But my friends, I'm going to give you some facts. We have to be involved in the narrative. We have to be involved. And what you want to do, we are doing as we are involved. It does not mean a confrontational, because the confrontation, the brain immediately goes into fight or flight and you meet up with resistance. So I want to invite each of you, when you have the opportunity, you don't have to create the opportunity, but when the opportunity presents itself to you, I want you to have a conversation with people. If you want someone to have a different thought, have a conversation and listen. Because listening, you can hear what's being said, what's not being said, and then you can offer input. I'm not saying go in trying to change someone, but you can offer input. And when you listen, you can hear their standpoint. You can hear their angle. You hear where they're coming from. And then you're able to have a different dialogue. Yeah, judgment on someone is the biggest downside. Yes. And so you can have a different dialogue, and it invites a higher consciousness, a higher level of thinking. And you also have to guard your brain. You were talking about because be clear, my beautiful brothers and sisters, you are experiencing trauma. You are experiencing trauma in this time. And trauma is painful. And trauma is painful, as it shows in the evidence with these votes. Like, we just didn't think it was going to be this close, because what we're seeing is that America still values money over its people.
Mhm.
And so this is very sobering for us. It's a very sobering reality. It's very traumatic for those of us with Black and brown skin that we are being dismissed. But what I want you to know is that a new day is dawning. And I know this for sure. And so whoever, do not get caught up if 45th, the current sitting president wins, life is over. And if we get Biden in, life is gonna be peachy king. Because here's the reality. When Biden takes over, that's step one. That's just the ground floor. That's the work beginning, because we have a lot of division, there's a lot of infighting. So we all also, as corporate citizens of this globe, have a responsibility to be involved and to create something new as well. So what are you doing to do that? Who are you speaking to? How are you speaking to them? How are you showing up? Are you speaking to some of our youth? Are you helping them understand so they can navigate these next parts of their life? Are you volunteering in your churches? Are you helping your neighbor? What are you doing? And it could be small. It doesn't have, what are you doing? Are you just, participating in things like this, coming on, being a part of this platform, like you all are doing? You're involved, you're conversing, we're communing, we're changing things. Because be clear, we are changing things. One person does and can make a difference. So never minimize your contribution, never dismiss it. Just like the democratic process is playing out right now with counting each one of those votes, it is a process, and we will overcome. I promise you, because the word is clear.
Amen. The doors of the That Talks Church are open. Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, amen. Preach it.
Yes, right?
Speak
Yes.
that. I love it. You dropped so many nuggets. You dropped so many nuggets. And
Mm.
one thing that I heard and I want to share, people are like, speak, amen. That's right. Like
Thank you.
Karen wants the cash app. I think we need to give you some offerings for that word right there. um, Thank you for talking about that unconscious bias. I know that that's something near and dear to you, something that you are, you know,
Yes.
you're very educated on that topic, but it's so relevant. So I just thank you. And even as we think about this current election and things like that, as women in business, men in business, that is just something that I just wanted to make sure we brought to the forefront on that unconscious bias. But what I liked about it is not only that you acknowledge almost like the negative end of it, but what we can do. How can we reverse the narrative, right? How can we have more conversations and things like that to kind of shed light on the reality, not the biasness or the false assumptions.
Right.
Yeah. So so I know we're running towards the end, but we're good because nobody's going to stop us, and we're waiting anyway for election results. So people don't have much else to do tonight. So I want to bring up another hot topic, and this is another one that I heard you speak about, and I wanted to bring it up to the audience today. So the next hot topic, equity.
Yes. So equity. So I will relate this to myself so that we can get a deeper understanding. Because I think equity and equality a lot of times are confused, right? So equality, I can do the same job as you, but I may not get paid the same. So I can do the equal work, but may not get paid the same. Okay. So that's, I have equality in work, but I don't have pay equality. So that's equality. Equity is making sure you give an underrepresented class what they need to line up to the in group. So I think it was Jackie even that posted that there was an image that she posted. There was a family on a fence, and the dad could see over, but the kids could not see over. So what the dad did to make it equitable is he got boxes for at different heights because they were different heights. So it is giving each class, each gender, each marginalized group, each culture what they need to bring them in line with the in group, the privileged group. So this is what oh my gosh, just lost the word for it. This is what affirmative action. Thank you. Woo, thank you, Holy Spirit. This is what affirmative action does for a lot of those who are underrepresented. We have the education, we have the abilities, but sometimes systemically education is not equal because though our communities are underfunded. So we don't get the resources systemically. So this is what we talk about, systemic change, right? It's not surface. You got to get in there. And so an analogy is, you look at the fruit, but you don't get to the root. So you gotta get into the root. We gotta fertilize the root. We gotta get in there and dig out the weeds that are in the roots, so that our roots are sustained and they grow and they are fertilized with the same fertilizer as every group. So that's systemic because it feeds the whole trunk of the tree. So think of roots, that's systemic. What are we feeding the roots? Are all the roots getting the same plant food? Are all the roots getting everything they need? The same monies, the same attention, the same opportunity?
Water, sunlight, exposure.
Boom. And when that happens, then we have equality. But until then, we need to create equity. So we need to create things. Ooh, this little plant right here it's not as powerful. Let me take it out and put it in some different soil, give it a little bit something different so that it can grow and bear the same fruit or even better fruit. But that is what equity is. It is about giving what is needed for a particular disenfranchised group of people, because systemically it's broken. America was not found. American Indians were here. Okay, they were here. It was stolen. And so there have been reparations to the Indians, right? Reparations to the Chinese for the railroad system and the mistreatment and things of that nature. Black people are the only ones who have not had reparations. And until that is acknowledged, as Marianne Williamson, when she was running for president, if you remember, that was what she was doing. That was part of her conversation. And that was not received because superiority does not want equality. They want to remain superior. So we have to be careful that we don't vote down programs and we don't get into our mind that that's a less than program. Those programs create equity within a broken system. So that's why it's important to have equitable programs and things within corporations, within communities, so that it can bring us all into equality.
That's good. So real brief, so that we can go on to the next segment. When we think about women in business and we think about women in business, what are your thoughts on how that pertains to unconscious bias and equity?
So one of the biggest things with women in business is when we become passionate about something, we receive a label. We're a B word. We are angry. We're out of control, and we're emotional. So we cannot become passionate about something without being labeled. Whereas in a man, especially a white man, a Caucasian man, he's passionate. Oh my goodness, he just believes in this so much. So there is a disproportion of equity and equality in the workplace when it comes to women. Women, our initiatives are not funded and given as much thought to as initiatives created by men. Pitching, I can tell you from a business startup standpoint, Now things are, I love that they're bringing things in to create equity for different startup businesses, different incubators, things of that nature. But that's what is creating equity for women in business and for people of color. We see a lot of COVID for Black women, right? Black women in business, a lot of opportunities to bring equity into the space. And so as we are growing as women in business, what we have to make sure we are doing is, number one, listen, from whom much is expected, you're called to do a lot. And so we can't start saying, well, why do I have to? Because it just is the reality. So we want to make sure we are definitely showing up in excellence. We want to make sure that we are not dimming our light. Don't dim your light because somebody else is uncomfortable with your greatness, with your power. So we want to make sure that we continue to show up in truth, authenticity, because when you show up one way because you're trying to prove something, it's not really who you are, but then you show up in another meeting as your true self, people will feel a little bait and switch, and then they won't trust you. That will minimize distrust, that will minimize trust. So as we are women growing in this space of women in business, show up authentically, always show up authentically, be real, use your voice because your voice is your power, and collaborate with other women. Get into collaborations, into partnerships, and make sure you have allies, because we need male allies. We need male allies. I have wonderful male allies who have gotten open doors for me, white males that have opened doors for me because I've shown up in excellence. They've opened doors for me that I could not have opened. They have acted in roles of sponsors because they've championed me. So we want to make sure you're building, be intentional with these relationships that you're building. You want to build relationships, authentic relationships with people that can help further your mission, further your calling, because this world is built on partnerships and collaborations. So you want to make sure you're aligning yourself with those people, and aligning yourself with those people of all cultures and nationalities. Don't pigeonhole yourself with only Black folks, with only white folks. You don't want to do that. You want to have that you want to make sure that you are not operating in group bias, which means you only stick to those who look like you, act like you feel comfortable with. You need to stretch yourself too, so that you can grow, and also you help others grow when you do that.
That's good. Well, thank you for that. And again, a lot of comments out here. Jackie said allyship is a big push right now. So definitely agree. So
yes, Jackie knows.
Yes, definitely. I want to pull up a comment, actually a question, and I want you to, if you can briefly answer it, and then we can move on. But like I said, we have nothing but time. We're still waiting on election results. So
right,
it's a long night tonight. So I want to bring up this question from the beautiful and talented Jordan Moore. Jordan was actually a guest on Speak That Talks as well back in September. So Jordan asked, I read that Black women often receive less pay compared to their white counterparts. Should we get our foot in the door, then ask for more money later, or not accept the job if they don't give us our worth?
So my beautiful Jordan, you do not accept that job because you are agreeing, you have made agreement with the offer that they have placed before you. So let me tell you what I had one of my clients do for a nonprofit position that she was offered. So they offered her a position, they offered her pay. So she got the position, right? But it was not the pay she wanted. So, and once again, we say, why do I have to do that? Because we are going to demonstrate value. So what I had her do was to write a thank you for the offer. And then I had her list out 5 things she did at within her career or from the previous company. So at a previous company, she saved them $31 million with an initiative she created. So there were things like that. So we have to begin to highlight who we are for them so that they understand, thank you for the offer. However, I would counter with whatever that is. And let me tell you why. At company Acme, I created an initiative that saved $31 million. I will bring this same fervor and passion and wisdom to your company and the same structure. You know, I had created a team from 5 to 200 where we tripled the company's revenue. So those are things that you just want to highlight for them, because here's the thing, you have to be comfortable with bragging on yourself. So you may have said something in an interview, but let's bring it home. Let's really make it tangible. Let's make it succinct so that when I send that email, I thank them for the opportunity. I am excited to begin. Here is my counter offer. And let me tell you why you would be a fool to say no to giving me this additional money. And let me tell you what happened to her. She not only she wanted a larger sign-on bonus, but what they did is, yes, they increased the sign-on bonus, but they also increased the base salary, which is even better because that is consistent money. So to answer your question, no, ma'am, you will not take a lesser salary when you know you deserve more. And you will make a case for this particular person because they don't know you, right? They don't know you. And that's what they do. They're going to try to get you at a particular, salary range. And you're going to make your case as to why they would be foolish to first let you go and then not give you that extra money, because you're going to make them more money and you are absolutely amazing. So no, ma'am.
And Jordan says, thank you. I will work on a presentation of highlights. So can I ask this, because I adore you, Alycia, and I adore you, Jordan. Would you be open to connecting with Jordan, Alycia?
That was going to be my next. Jordan, connect with me if you need some help with verbiage for that. It is my honor. Yes, let's get it, girl. Let's get them highlights and let's get the money.
So I will connect you to via text message and or email. So thank you, and thank you for your question, Jordan. Always nice to see you. So I know I'm going over time, but again, I have been doing nothing but watching results all day. So I'm just going to talk all night. You have to shut me up. You're going to have to be the host and tell me, Tiara.
Look, you got to get a sip of water while you're talking.
Karen said, get the bag. And Jordan, thanks you. So I'll make sure I connect you both. So I just have to stay on this. What about the person who's already in the company and they're getting the opportunities that are lateral? They're getting the developmental opportunities. They're getting the no's for the roles that they're asking for that could generate more money, more income. But they're getting the no for that, but the tap on the shoulder for, oh, but we would love you over here. No more money, but the experience that the person may or may not even be looking for. Right. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
You got it. So let's say you get the tap on the shoulder. Now, listen, we're in corporations, we're in organizations. We are here to serve, right? We're here to help. And so we're okay with that. Tiara, you have this amazing skill set and sales could just use you for this one project, but of course you go in there and you knock it out of the park, right? And so now they want to start kind of pulling on you a little bit more, and they don't want to give you any more income. So the first thing I would say is you must bring your voice forward before you start allowing that to happen, because what happens is you allow yourself to become a puppet. So I am all about being a team player, organizational support when, we may have a skill set. However, you need to have a number. Okay, after 2 times, I need to set up an appointment with my supervisor and I need to have a conversation. I'm happy to help, but this is becoming a bit habitual. So what is the vision for you? Don't put anything out there. I need more money. I'd like to get your feedback on what this looks like to you. Is this going to be habitual? Is this just this one last time? And then you allow them to talk, and you take your cues from them. If they say, no, this is this one last time, and you can say, you know what, wonderful, because my commitment is to our team of operations, and that being a part of it pulls me away, but I am more than happy. So if you're telling me it's one last time, I'm okay with that. But if we're going to do it again, then I'm going to have a different request. And so you put it out there. Don't say what the request is. I'm going to have a different request. And they'll be, oh, no problem. So that's number one. Number two, we talk about taking your seat at the table, right? And sometimes we have to create our own table. And sometimes that table is not with the current organization we're with. So we really have to be smart. Do not allow yourself to be abused or used. And so you have to take some ownership in some of the things I know there's some things that I have allowed to go too far because I wanted to be liked, right? I wanted to be a part of this. I wanted to, I can fix this for everybody, but it ends up frustrating you and making and really creating anger within you. So we have to be honest with ourselves, first having that conversation, then making a decision. Is it time for me to take my seat at a different table and create it with a different company? Because all of these amazing experiences that I've had at company A are now going to be highlighted for company B, and they're going to pay me. And I will tell you, this just happened to a friend of mine in pharma, where he stayed somewhere. They promised him the position, the senior directorship. They promised him. He was doing it. They hired someone else. Wow. And he left. He did not. You need to leave. He went somewhere else, honey. 4 times the pay. 4 times, because they saw the value. 4 times the pay and a 6-figure sign-on bonus.
What? Ask him if they are looking for any other people, because we got a lot of people on Secret Talks tonight.
So this is what it means to own your value and own your truth and be okay with stepping out of your comfort zone. I don't care if I've been here for 15 years. So are they valuing you? How are they treating you? And if you've had dialogue, so now I'm going to put it in your court. You can't sit back and just okay. No. You've brought your voice to the conversation. You've made it clear, with respect, of course, how you're feeling, what you see. And if they're still dismissing you, then my dear, it's time for you to take another seat at a different table or create your own.
Wow. There you have it, women in business out there and men in business. Whether, and this is the attachment to Jordan's question, those looking for roles and maybe not getting what they desire, but also those with current corporations who may not feel like they're being valued or getting those opportunities that they desire. Right. So I hope you all enjoyed. This is the kickoff to the Women in Business series. So this is the extended version to keep me away from watching CNN. So we're going to go on tonight. But jewels have been dropped, and there are folks on the other page right now. I'm just going to read what people are saying over here. Miss Sherelle Reed is with us. Hello, lady. She actually is hosting an event on Sunday, and I'm excited about that because I'm going to be speaking at her event on Sunday.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes. And actually, she was also a part of Zandra and Jackie's conference. So she says it's important that you know your worth and expect treatment that aligns with that work.
Say it, sister.
You have it from another woman in business. So, baby, there are some jewels, and she will be speaking in December on Speak That Talks as well. So, listen, guys, we're not done yet. It sounds like folks, men and women, love what you had to share. We're not done yet. There's a little bit more left with Speak That Talks, but I'm going to offer us a break. I'm going to offer us a quick 30-second break, because after that, we're about to go to the last section of Speak That Talks. And all of you that have been watching, you know that's my favorite part. It's the Speak That Speed round. And we're going to leave this show. We're going to wrap up this evening and we're going to kick off this month, truly empowering you and inspiring you. So do me a favor, tag some people, share this, because in about 30 seconds, we're going to do the Speak That Speed round, and you will be encouraged to live your best life no matter what's going on around you. 30 seconds. Drum roll. Now it's time for the Speak That Speed round. So I need everybody that's still tuning in to show us some love. Let us know that you're still watching.
Yes.
Because this part of the show is all about you. So I see those hearts pounding. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is now the opportunity for you, my wonderful, special, beautiful, educated, talented guest, to share with us your thoughts on the 4 pillars of Speak That movement. And those pillars are dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. But I'm going to add a little seasoning salt to this meal today, okay? Again, we all know that we're awaiting results. Whether we want to admit it or not, there are people that are, dealing with a little anxiety, a little stress, and not just because of the election, but because of 2020, from COVID, to people losing jobs, to people just being displaced, to the hurricanes, to the wildfires, to the fatalities, the social injustices. There's been so much going on. However, Alycia, we both know there have been a lot of beautiful things taking place in 2020. God has birthed new businesses, new relationships, connections, you name it. So I refuse to let a Speak That Talks go by without encouraging people and inspiring people. So I'm so grateful to have you here. We are about to have the speed round, and we are about to give you the platform because I want you to go. I'm going to go one by one. And we're going to talk about each pillar. Thank you for being in the building, Black in Business podcast. Make sure you all check them out. I was actually a guest on their show. And so amazing. So again, that's what's been happening in 2020, right?
Right.
People putting their dreams out there. I don't just talk this. I believe in it. And I'm seeing it and I'm witnessing it. So don't y'all be afraid. This is your year, not to be afraid, but your year to give it your all. Because if you didn't learn anything else in 2020, you learned that tomorrow is not promised, right?
That's right.
And you also learned that you can have a dream and it can become a reality. And I need you to talk about how that can happen. So we're going to start with pillar number 1. Tell everybody out there, what are your thoughts on Speak That movement pillar number 1, dream it.
So dream it. Let me tell you, the brain sees in images. So when you're asleep or you're daydreaming, you are creating imagery. The brain does not know what's real or what's fake. So when you are dreaming, it is real to you. It is real. It becomes your reality. So it has to start with the imagery, imagination. Imagine it, dream it. That is the first step to anything being brought into fruition, spiritual to manifestation.
Love it. Speak That movement pillar number 2, believe it.
If you don't believe it, how can anybody else believe it for you? So you must walk in belief and act as if it is already done. So you must believe it and walk it out. Do the work.
I love it. Dream it, believe it, speak it.
In the beginning and was the word, and the word was God. The word creates. So as you speak it, you speak life. Your words have life. There is a spirit of life on what you say. So what you put out into the atmosphere will not come back without creation of some sort. Speak it. Speak it as if it's already done.
Yes. So I know some of you are probably like, I'm about to speak these votes out there because I'm about to speak this president into existence.
There you, amen.
So, I am going to ask you to share your thoughts on the fourth and final pillar of Speak That movement, which is walk it.
Yeah.
And as a woman in business, I
Mm.
want you to just speak to the people, the men, the women, everybody right now in this nation. And I'm going to step away because I'm going to give you my platform because I really want you to speak on this particular one, which is walk it.
All right. So walk it is an action. So that is an action that we all must take. It is a demonstration. As we walk, we demonstrate what's true for us. So as you are walking out the rest of this week, this weekend, as we are awaiting the votes to be tallied, what I want you to do in your walk is to demonstrate your dreams, your beliefs, and your words through walking out those actions. So let's just say if we are talking about the presidency, I want you to walk it out that your candidate has been chosen. No more worrying, just walk it out as if it was so. Believe it. It's you, listen, you dreamt it. We believed it because it's been 4 years and it's been tough. So we dreamt it that it was going to be someone else. We believed it. We've spoken it as truth with our vote. And now we're going to walk it out. We're going to walk it out in what we do in our communities moving forward, how we address one another, how we create change from within our communities. And we're going to be a part of that demonstration. We are, all of us are taking an oath right now that we are not going to be sitting on the sidelines. We are walking out the change that we want to see and experience for ourselves, for that from our ancestors, and for our next generations. So walk it out with boldness. Be who you are supposed to be in this world. Honor that deep truth within you. No more hiding, no more accepting mediocrity. You will walk it out in complete excellence with unapology, because that is the divine being you were put here to be. No more mediocre. It's all about excellence in your demonstration through walking it out.
Mm. And we shall say yes, yes, and it is so.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow, beautiful,
Thank you for having
beautiful.
me.
Yes, that
Thank
was
you.
really, really good. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for blessing the Speak That Talks platform on a day when we needed it. So
Yes.
again, thank you. And tell people, how can people find you if they want more of you, if they want to just follow you and support you and see all of the
Love
things
it.
that you're involved in.
So my name, Alycia Houston, is on. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Twitter, I'm not that active. I'm trying to get there, but but I'm on IG. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn with my name, so you can find me with Alycia Houston. You'll find me, and I respond. So if you drop me a note, I'm going to respond. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And I know I already asked you for final words, but I just feel I need to tap into this mental health right now. Give
Okay.
me 30 seconds, those dealing with the mental health right now,
Yeah.
right
Yes.
now. Give us
Yes.
30 seconds of your final words.
So what I'm going to say is, don't get yourself caught up in being glued to the TV. It will create massive amounts of anxiety. Play some gospel music, dance a little bit, listen, have a glass of wine, but just
Or
relax.
vodka. Sorry.
Or vodka, whatever. Listen, whatever your pleasure, and not too much. Don't go crazy. Look, I said a glass, okay? And just relax. Enjoy a dialogue with friends. Just relax. Spend time with your family. Do not let this consume you, because this is not the life that you're meant to live. And whether whomever wins, you're going to be okay. So I know we want to know, because really the brain wants to know. It wants finality. It wants to know what is happening. And especially with the turmoil we've been through the last 4 years. But just know that whatever the outcome, you are going to be okay. Because what happened is we are now mobilized. We will now all take up our own torches, and we will do what needs to be done within our communities, within our own legislature that's local, because that's where a lot of the change happens before it gets to the national level and the international level. So we are going to create a charge within ourselves to become more involved in the process and help others have a deeper understanding for the political process, our communal process, and why it's so important that all of our voices be heard. So do not let yourself become weary behind this. If this is not, listen, this is a spiritual battle. This is a spiritual battle. It's not your battle. You brought your voice of life with your pen to the vote. And even if you didn't vote, there's no judgment. Just support and just walk it out, and just know that you are needed in this new season to where we're going, whomever wins.
Wow. Nothing more needs to be said after that from me. Thank you for blessing this platform.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
being a special guest on a day that it was just a critical day to
Yeah.
speak life to people.
Yes.
I'm humbly grateful. I'm looking forward to staying connected with you.
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Thank you.
Everybody give
Thank
Miss
you,
Alycia
everybody. Thank you for your
a
words.
wave.
Thank you for your commitment to this space and to change and to the hope that lies ahead of us. And thank you for having me, beautiful Tiara. Thank you, baby. Thank you. This is an amazing platform, an amazing calling on your life. So continue to walk out your mission, baby. Speak it.
Walk it
Yes.
like I talked to you, right? You gonna give me some outro dance music?
I don't have
Okay,
any.
we came in with the intro. Thank you so much, my sister.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Wow, guys. Thank you so much if you stayed until the end. I know that this was a longer show than expected, but you know what? We're all being patient right now anyway. So I hope you all got something out of today's show. Um, thank you. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your interaction. Thank you for your belief in this act of obedience. Speak That Talks. So again, I thank y'all. I appreciate you. I ask that if you liked what you saw today, that you'll go back and check out the videos of some of the amazing speakers from the past 27 weeks in the replay section on the Speak That Movement page on Facebook or YouTube. I also ask, if you liked what you saw today, keep coming. Next Thursday, November 12th, another amazing guest speaker. The next week, November 19th, another amazing guest speaker. This is the Women in Business series that is going to help women and men, but the speakers are women, to help you live your best life despite the circumstances, despite who the president is, despite what's going on in the political or social world around us. We will declare our own victories. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you want to learn more about Tiara PR Network, Speak That Movement, or Speak That Talks, go ahead and visit the website, tiaraprnetwork.com. And if you want to be a guest speaker in 2021, because God willing, this show will extend to 2021, then just go to the website, set up some time, we can chat. And I'm only throwing this out because someone asked me to do it. because I never ask for a thing. But I'm going to ask in the spirit of November, if you want to be a blessing to the Speak That Talks platform in any way, maybe you want to give, maybe you want to donate to keep things going and keep things rolling, to allow us to reach more people in even more ways, don't hesitate. Shoot me a note. Go to the website, Cash App, TPRN. And again, I'm not asking for any donations like that, but I know that people have asked how they can bless the platform so that it can do more things. So I'm just being an obedient person by sharing the information that people ask me to share. On that note, shout out to the Speak That Movers, those that have declared they're living their best life, they're dreaming it, they're believing it, they're speaking it, and they're walking it. Thank you. Humbly thank you for supporting these efforts. And as I love to say every single week, may God bless you and may God protect you. Thank you so much. Y'all, we're in this together. The best is yet to come. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.